Keeping up with Mr. Jones, you don't need a tonight we're here to talk about Mayor Gavin Buckley, and let me just say this: I so far so good. He was elected mayor in 2017, and prior to that, he was a local restaurateur, and he's built quite a name for himself here, particularly with restaurants along West Street. The one thing about Gavin is he was raised in Australia by a single mother, and he made his way, I believe, to your home city, Miami, by sailboat.
Yeah, he got to Miami. Yes, if I remember correctly, he got to Miami shortly after I arrived in a Miami delivery room. So I was born in '84, and I believe he got to the shores of Miami in '85. I think that might be correct. So. Yeah, that's our pre-Annapolis overlap that I have with the mayor.
Okay, well, Gavin eventually made his way here to Annapolis in 1992 with about $200 in his pocket. And it's starting to sound like a California dream story. I think, Brad Pitt and a few other Hollywood folks
on the East Coast
have sort of the same kind of story. But again, Gavin was raised in Australia. He sailed here from Perth. And, the one thing is when he arrived, within a week, I believe he told us that everybody seemed to know his name. I feel like that's another kind of Hollywood thing. But,
it was a pretty warm welcome. I remember hearing that too.
Yeah. And so part of the reason why I think he stayed is the community. Annapolis has got a fantastic, friendly, welcoming community. It probably also helps that he met his future wife, Jules, here, and she was a local.
Right.
And so that's how kind of Gavin came here from Australia.
Yeah, there are a lot of things that make people call this place home. For Gavin, it was love and opportunity. For me, it was the seasons. Coming from Miami, I realized I didn't have to sweat year round. So when I was stationed at Fort Meade, I arrived September 2013, which is fall, and autumn in Maryland is one of the most beautiful things. So that was the beginning of my Maryland story there. So we all have different reasons why we call this place home, whether you were born and raised here or something attracted you to this area. And for me, one of those things was, you got the mountains to the west, the water to the east. We are right between Baltimore and the nation's capital, D.C. You can hop on a train and go up to New York City. You got the tri-state area. This is just geographic perfection, if I say so. So all those things, to me, were far better than Miami could offer.
I will say, though, Miami is my all-time favorite vacation destination in the United States. Love it.
My family is my favorite destination in Miami, but we'll talk about that. That's another conversation.
All right, well, enough about us, and back to talking about Mayor Buckley. I think Gavin was bitten by the entrepreneurial spirit upon his arrival. He ended up, his first job here was at Middleton Tavern.
Right.
Have you ever been?
I have, yes. Every St. Patrick's Day parade, the route ends right there. So that is my go-to destination mid-March every year.
Oh, that's good to know.
You can find me there for sure.
I know. But, he learned the basics of business and how to run a business while working at Middleton Tavern. And he ended up opening his first business here was a coffee shop, which I think is kind of cool. I didn't know he knew much about coffee.
Well, I didn't know that before now, so that's it's a learning opportunity.
I could probably use a coffee right now. But he saw potential right away here on West Street and what the possibilities were as far as building businesses. And, that's exactly what he's done.
Yeah, the West Street of today wasn't the West Street of yesterday, was it?
No.
From your experience here.
Well, from my experience, what I do know is that West Street at one point was not a very safe place to travel along. Even up until 1993, you couldn't sit outside at restaurants.
That's crazy.
Which is unbelievable. This was, I guess, known as the red light district back in the day.
So in '93, it was illegal to sit outside, and now you go out. We've got dining under the stars. We've got street events. We've got art festivals. We've got chocolate that festival's
Yeah,
going
I haven't
on
been to
here?
that yet. I can't wait.
Okay, well, I mean, so a lot has already changed in a short amount of time.
Right.
That's excellent to know.
You know, from the 17th century to the 21st century, here we are. And that leads us to our first cocktail, which I'm thirsty. I don't know about you.
I am. You mentioned coffee earlier, but I'm kind of digging what Sharon's got.
Yeah, we'd like to introduce Shannon, who is our wonderful guest bartender for the night. Thank you for being here, and
thank you for having me.
What are you making us?
So the first drink is called the Red Light, and it is my kind of take on a margarita. And Gavin had this grand idea. He saw the Good Bones in West Street and kind of wanted to revamp it, and succeeded with the Arts District and just all of the restaurants on West Street. So he knew it had good bones. So margarita, good bones. We're gonna have orange and agave and lime, like a basic margarita, and of course tequila. But we're gonna revamp it a little bit, much like Gavin did, and we're gonna add a little ginger beer and pomegranate.
Awesome.
So I'm making a few cocktails, but for you at home, making an individual one. Each drink will have a quarter of an orange that you're going to squeeze into a mixer. I'm going to do a few.
I'm parched.
So vitamin C and antioxidants. This is healthy. This is healthy. I like it.
So squeeze some orange, and then for each drink, a quarter of a lime.
Citrus. Again, more fruit. This is a health show.
I mean, this is Miami. I mean, you know, I almost feel like put some sand down, and we could be on Miami Beach.
So again, it's just one for each drink, but I'm making 3 for you guys. And then do a little squirt of agave if you want to use the perfect measurements, about a tablespoon at home. So, and then 3 ounces of tequila of your choice.
Oh boy. I like top shelf.
Again, I'm making 3 drinks.
Oh my goodness.
So you are also going to add 2 ounces for each one of pomegranate. Okay. All right, so mix all of those together, and then you're going to fill up your glass. I will divide it into 3, obviously.
Now, is there a particular glass that you're... Okay, so you use the tall ones for this, because I noticed.
Yes,
I'm not going to ruin anything, but what's so important about the size of the glass?
Just for ounce measurements. I know you wanted a little bit of a mini one. So, and then with each one...
Not saying anything.
Oh, I'll say everything. I'll say everything.
Very good. There you go.
All right.
All right, well, I'm thirsty.
You ready?
I am ready. Now, here's the other question I've got for you is, you know, do we drink these through a straw? I know that you've got some different size straws here.
You can sip on it. You can do it through straw, whatever you prefer.
Are they paper or are they plastic?
These are not plastic.
Okay.
Straws.
Excellent. Good for recycling.
Actually, somebody that is part owner in one of the restaurants that Gavin started this company, so very cool. So now just top everything with ginger beer.
That looks amazing.
I will give you your non-plastic straws. And just to make it look pretty, a little garnish for you. And
speaking of restaurants, so Gavin started 3 restaurants here? So we've got the first one with Tsunami,
yes,
I believe, here on West Street, and Lemongrass and Metropolitan, and I think the most recent...
and the one now. Here you go, guys.
Oh my
Most
goodness.
recent
Thank you,
restaurant in 2016, the Sailor, all here on West Street. Cheers, folks. Cheers.
Cheers. Ooh.
Love it. Whoa!
That tickles. But it's delicious. It's so good. It's so good.
All right. Well, moving on. You know, let's get back to Gavin and accomplishments and talk about community and this lovely city that we live in.
Yeah. Community is pretty fascinating to me now because I just finished the chairmanship of the Anne Arundel County Complete Count Committee. That is a mouthful for the 2020 census. And one thing I learned, not just about Annapolis, but Anne Arundel County and the state of Maryland, is we don't see really outside of the purview of our own experience. But we are a lot more diverse than we imagine here. And just the city of Annapolis alone, 1 in 5 residents, maybe not citizens, but residents, 1 in 5 people that call Annapolis home are Hispanics. Hispanics are one of the growing demographics in Annapolis. A little over 20%, a hair over 20% of the population here is Hispanic. In Anne Arundel County, the Hispanic population only accounts for about 8%. So when you think of a city that has about 40,000 people in it, and 20% of that population, you're looking at over 8,000 people. You're looking at over 8,000 people that English may not be their first language. In Anne Arundel County, that 8%, in a county of roughly 570 plus thousand, we've got about 40,000 Hispanic residents in the county proper. And actually, I do have a message that I prepared for our Hispanic residents, Gavin's constituents, County Executive Pittman's constituents, and everyone else as part of the Anne Arundel County delegation, que históricamente hemos tenido que trabajar más duro para ser vistos y hablar más fuerte para ser escuchados. Algunas de nuestras familias tomaron el tiempo para completar el censo. Ese fue el primer paso. Ahora, si pueden, regístrense para votar. Consulten las oportunidades de voluntariado. La oficina del alcalde Gavin Buckley está listo para ayudarlos. Si necesitas ayuda específica, comuníquese con Laura Gutiérrez en la oficina del alcalde al 410-263-7997 o en su email lgutierrez@annapolis.gov. Compartimos esta ciudad y compartimos todo lo bueno juntos. And for all of our other friends that are listening, that last bit I said I think is extremely important, that together we share this city. The city doesn't belong to any particular people or person, it belongs to everyone. It's, you mentioned it earlier, we are a 17th century city. We are a capital city of the state of Maryland. We are the seat of the county government here in Annapolis. There is so much about this town that goes way beyond anything that any particular person can account for. So we do share this city with ourselves, with the rest of the state, with the rest of the country, with the rest of the world. And we do share in all the successes together also. So I think it's very important that we make room for everyone that wants to call Annapolis home or that wants to come here to visit and shop at our stores, eat at our restaurants, and enjoy everything that we have to offer here.
Yeah, well,
so that's certainly what I do when my parents or my family come to visit. It's one of the first destinations we come to.
Can't wait to meet the parents.
All right, you're on the list. You're on the list. Everyone here.
Fame or something.
Everyone here.
Well, I agree. Annapolis has been such an amazing city for me to, in a lot of ways, discover. I mean, I came here as a kid off and on in the 80s, and I couldn't really appreciate it when, you're 12 or 13 years old. And now having lived here for as long as I have, I mean, this is truly home, and I love the sense of community, and Gavin has been able to really bring that even more to the forefront of this great city. And it's not just, community is not just about West Street, where Gavin first saw, had his vision. It's for the entire city of Annapolis. And, he served on various boards throughout the city over the years, including like the Friends of St. John's, Visit to Annapolis, and he's also a member of the Anne Arundel County NAACP. Which I just recently found that out, and that's near and dear to my heart. And this is why I'm proud to live here.
Yeah, there's a lot of opportunity here. There's a lot of things that people don't know about. So the more we are able to communicate something I mentioned in my Spanish message. Seek out these volunteer opportunities, register to vote. there is a lot of historical references that most of the people that live here may not have always had the greatest representation for themselves, for their culture, for their ideas, for their way of life. And that's something that we need to change as we move forward into the 21st century. And I'm glad we have a competent government at the city and at the county that can make these things happen for absolutely everyone.
That's
for
true.
everyone
That's
to enjoy.
true. Gavin has brought together, various business leaders in hopes of coming up with ideas, including residents, coming up with ideas on how to continue moving through the 21st century, including bike lanes, which I got to tell you, I'm a huge biking fan. I used to ride a lot on the road. I'm a bit more of a mountain biker now, which also Gavin has helped build, a mountain bike area here. So I'm incredibly ecstatic about that. But just on Bay Ridge Avenue, I live right off of Bay Ridge Avenue. I'll never forget the first time those painted lines, were there, and I could just ride downtown safely. And even to this day, it's been a really, really good thing.
I've yet to experience the bike paths here, but that's something that I really want to get to experience.
And the experiment downtown with the bike lane, I think it was a great idea.
I think so too.
I didn't get a chance to ride down it. It was just it was a good experiment, I think.
I have a feeling with all this bike lane talk, is there something that we have?
I think there's another drink.
Is there something that we?
Isn't it? I believe our second cocktail tonight is the bike lane. Shannon?
So, for the bike lane, the reason that I chose that is with gin is because, much like Gavin's grand plan of the bike lane, not everybody is thrilled about it. Was thrilled about it, but I think that once you taste this drink, much like the bike lane, you will find that you actually enjoy it, and it was an excellent idea. So, for the bike lane, each drink you're going to do 3, hopefully you already pre-cut your cucumbers, 3 slices of the cucumber, and again making more, and then 2 slices of jalapeno. You don't want it as spicy, just do 1, maybe leave out the seeds, but I highly suggest it if you can take it. It's not that bad, it won't hurt you.
Some more fine produce.
So you're going to muddle all of those ingredients.
Possibly grown in Florida.
Maybe.
Possibly. Yeah.
Consumed in Maryland.
All this talk, vacation is coming.
All right, so once you get all of the ingredients muddled.
So what's the purpose of the muddle?
It is to help bring out the essence of what you're muddling, whether it be fruit or mint, in this case cucumber, jalapeno. It really releases.
Wow.
If I was doing lime, I wouldn't muddle it this much, but with all of these drinks, you have to muddle a little bit more. Okay, so once you have that, then you're going to add some simple syrup. 1 part sugared, 1 part water. I think everybody did it ahead of time. So I'm just a squeeze of that, about a tablespoon. 1. Sorry. And then
What's the difference between simple syrup and syrup you put on your pancakes? I mean, really.
the syrup on your pancakes hopefully is maple syrup. The simple syrup that you have at home or out in a restaurant is equal parts water and sugar.
Yeah.
I work at Lemongrass. We add ginger and lemongrass to it. So, and then you're going to do 3 ounces of gin. And again, I'm doing 3 drinks.
Harry, have you had your allotted number of...
Have I had 9 ounces of gin?
Have you had your 64 ounces of water?
Yes. I met all quotas before getting here.
I actually do monitor my water intake daily. It's pretty annoying.
Yeah. I also carb loaded before I got here, so I am prepared.
So you're going to want to mix all of that together and serve it in lowball, rocks, glasses. We have a fancy ice cube for you guys tonight.
Oh, the big rocks. Yeah, talk about, something that, when it was first introduced, the large rock for, whiskey drinks and, single malts.
It changes the character.
It changes everything. It really does. And I think it adds an air of sophistication, if I may say so myself.
I feel so fancy right now. I feel so fancy.
You are so fancy.
Thank you.
So once you have that, you're just going to top it off with some chilled soda water. Just a little bit, about 2 ounces.
Chilled soda water.
And if you want to make it look fancy,
This looks pretty cool.
add some slices.
Whoa, is that a jalapeno?
It is. Are you ready for this?
I'm down. I'm so down.
All right, here you go, guys.
Wow.
Can we trade?
Enjoy.
I have a feeling this is going to be a bit
We trade.
spicy. For sure.
Just a tad.
Yeah, just a tad.
All right, so cheers number 2.
Cheers number 2 to the bike lane.
The bike lane.
May we continue to support Mayor Buckley in helping to build infrastructure throughout the city.
I do like this. And there's a spice. It's good. The gin, I like
Wow.
the bike lane more than the gin, but I'm still gonna. I'm still going
Not
to
bad.
enjoy this.
Not bad. Actually, Shannon is a very good bartender, I must say. So let's get back to let's talk about some things that Gavin has been able to implement in the last couple of years, including the finances. He's kind of gotten finances under control in the city with the administration. He's initiated programs that have brought together, again, our community. He's implemented, again, infrastructure
Right.
and resilience projects. And programs that are designed to keep residents safe, community policing. I, for one, am a very big supporter of Annapolis Police Department. I am so grateful for any very few experiences that I've had with them or needed them for. And including the Annapolis Fire Department. I mean, it's just, this is part of why I live here.
Right, we've had changes in leadership. We've had strong visibility during the Black Lives Matter protests, through marches that have gone all through Annapolis. We had the 1,000-man march that started at the Naval Academy and ended at City Dock. We've had a lot of our local leaders show up and really motivate and understand a lot of the struggles that our residents are going through. And that's a good segue to understanding that, not everything is perfect in our city. Not everything is perfect in our society, that there are challenges that our decision makers make. There are challenges that our residents have. There are challenges that our families experience. 2 years ago, we were, on the national and international spotlight when we had the tragedy at the Capitol Gazette. We had our local leaders show up immediately. We had Annapolis Police and Anne Arundel County Police arrive on the scene in moments once the news broke there. Mayor Buckley, the entire city of Annapolis, Anne Arundel County, the entire country, the entire world has been dealing with a once-in-a-century pandemic where our departments of health have had to come together and really pick up the slack from states and the federal government. Everyone was just passing the ball from one level of our federal system to the next. So we really have to give it up to, again, our first responders, to all of our decision makers for taking such a massive responsibility and making sure that our government is doing one of its foundational responsibilities and making sure that we are all safe, that we are all healthy, and that we can all prosper no matter how difficult times are. And with all the highlights that we've done of all the positive, that we have to understand that decision makers also go through a lot of challenges.
No doubt. I'd also like to commend the leadership of Governor Hogan. He's stood up and really delivered when it's necessary, even sometimes when the federal government is slightly slower than any of us would want it to be. So, hats off to him. I'm proud to be a citizen of Maryland.
Yeah, there are not many places around the country have handled situations like this, as well as the city of Annapolis, Anne Arundel County, and the state of Maryland. So we do have a lot to be grateful for here.
Well, and speaking of which, we're going to be grateful for our final cocktail of this evening.
I'm still working on this bike lane. I'm still working on this bike lane.
Yeah,
and I think Mayor Buckley's still working on this bike lane too.
Woof. Shannon?
Yes.
What's the name of our final cocktail for the evening?
It is the finish line.
Yes.
This last cocktail would be my finish line, I'm sure.
So with the finish line, it's going to be a martini tonight, kind of a slow sipper. Hopefully you guys are nice and relaxed at home or wherever you're watching and kind of want to wind down the evening or prepare to go out for Midnight Madness. And I figured a good martini, vodka, kind of slow you down, but I also find it's kind of So for this one, you're going to use 1/4 of a muddled pear, and just a warning at the end, it is very thick, so you might have to kind of shake it a little bit harder than normal, but
I like the saying, shaken and not stirred.
so,
These are very healthy, I noticed.
yeah, it's nice. Okay, so we're going to muddle up some pear with some fresh squeezed lemon.
I feel like these cocktails are very trendy.
I'm still like, I don't like spicy drinks, but I do like the spiciness.
Yeah, I mean, you can definitely taste the jalapeno.
Yeah, no, I love it. I love it. I'm not the spicy marg fan, but this is good. This is really good.
Where can we tell our lovely citizens of this city where they can actually get these drinks, Shannon?
Where you can, well,
Where do we find these specialty cocktails?
well, Gavin is kind of a special guy, so I created these just for him.
So it makes sense to watch this and really take some notes.
Yeah, so you're gonna want to maybe just make it at home, but I don't know, maybe come by one of his restaurants.
We'll come by and see
they
it.
can redo it for you.
I know the mayor's production team also made graphics that have the recipes, the ingredients that you need, and the measurements that you're talking about
Yes,
also.
everything.
So you can
everything
find
you
that
need.
on you can find those on the on the mayor's social media platforms also.
Yes, yes.
For all 3 drinks.
So, and
I might never visit the jalapeno bike lane again.
This is I would. This is
I'm
great.
not sure how I feel about this one.
okay, so after you have the pear muddled, you are going to add, hopefully you made some simple syrup ahead of time. I know the ingredients, I think, went out to everybody. So it's a simple syrup, sugar, and water. And it has cinnamon, cardamom, and a little bit of vanilla in it.
Oh my
so,
gosh.
and I'm sure if, much like it's your house, you probably have to mix it up a little bit. So do a splash of that. I'd say it's about a tablespoon per drink if you just use regular milk.
Yeah, the simple syrup, I'm getting it now, folks. The simple syrup is, it's definitely thinner than your typical maple syrup.
And then 4 ounces of your choice vodka.
Tito's. This is definitely not a paid advertisement for Tito's. Trust me, it's not.
These measurements make how many cocktails?
So I'm making 3
Okay.
for you guys. And I'm gonna have to probably divide this up a little bit.
Very cool.
So you're gonna wanna shake it up a bit. Oh,
I might need some water. I'm a lightweight when it comes to the hot. Did I say something funny? My lovely co-host.
Yes.
And as Shannon's preparing our drinks, we are nearing the special presentation, and I think the mayor's entered the building. Is there a special alarm or something that goes off when he arrives?
There's a didgeridoo that plays in the background.
Didgeridoo.
I'm glad you guys are enjoying these so far.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
It was a lot of fun to kind of come up with something for Gavin. I was glad that he asked me to do this.
Yeah, and I mean, that's a true mixologist. You know, I remember when the term was just bartender. Now it's gotten even fancier.
Yeah,
Mixologist.
I know with the first drink we had, the red light, usually you would have a cranberry with that, but you decided to go pomegranate.
well-
So, I mean, a lot of these have alternatives. If maybe someone at home that wants to replicate these recipes finds something that they might not like, that there are substitutes.
Yes,
that
yes.
they can
Like
use.
the biplane would have been great with vodka. You
Okay.
could do this one with your choice of bourbon. I would suggest to stir it with ice instead of shake it.
Sure.
But yeah.
Sure.
And then because of the puree of the pear, you're just going to add a little bit of chilled soda water to top it off.
That looks so awesome.
Wow, this looks pretty amazing.
That looks so good. I love
I'm
pear.
like, here you go, co-host.
Look at that.
Would you like for me to?
Yeah, we're going to trade
Prepare. There we go. Thank you,
Look at these
Shannon.
slices.
This is fantastic.
Shannon, thank you.
Folks, welcome to the last drink of the evening.
Cheers number 3. My
We
personal
appreciate
finish
you.
line.
We appreciate you joining us. And what's the verdict?
It was good.
Wow,
This is good.
that's amazing.
This is my favorite one.
So,
Yep.
for and now for the moment you've all been waiting for, Mr. Mayor Gavin Buckley.
Hello, everybody. You're probably wondering what all this craziness is about. Okay, 1 month ago, we had an election, probably one of the toughest elections in our lives, and it's been a tough year. So this is a distraction. This is a way for you to join us at home, have a little fun, get your mind off things, and think about all the great things you've done and how hard you have worked to get us to this point. I'm proud of Team Maryland, proud of Team Anne Arundel County and Team Annapolis for the way we've conducted ourselves through COVID, through the economic crisis, through Black Lives Matter. You should be proud of what you've done. So today we're going to announce that I'm running in 2021. Before I announced, and without any possibility of even considering it, I couldn't do it without asking my amazing wife. Because this is a bit of we're making this up as we go along, I'm going to drag my wife out here and say thank you. She doesn't know I'm doing this. Come, babe, just come out just for 2 seconds, right? Look, everybody knows that this stuff is not possible without an amazing partner. I have an amazing partner. She doesn't have a microphone on, but I just want to tell her I love her and give her a kiss on TV and say, thank you for letting me do this for another 4 years, darling. I love you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So with that, and with the blessing of my beautiful wife and my family, who I can tell you politics is the toughest on, I want to introduce you to the reason and to the story of why we are running for a second term. This journey began 4 years ago with a dream. It was a vision for what our city could be. Forward-thinking, strong and inclusive. A city that is more sustainable, more accessible and better connected. A city that is family and community oriented, and where every resident knows they are valued and have a voice. As a mayor, I've worked hard to deliver on this vision and the promises I made. We now have expanded services and outreach to all our residents across all wards of our city. New regulations and reallocated funding protect our environment and waterways. New resiliency infrastructure is protecting our city from flooding. New bike and pedestrian pathways connect the breadth of our city and provide free, accessible transit for all residents. We've achieved all this and so much more in the face of unprecedented challenges that tested our resilience. But together, we've remained Annapolis strong. I believe we can draw on the strengths and look to the future with hope. The dream is still in our hands. Our work is not yet finished. Let's keep dreaming, working, and delivering together. As your mayor, I've embraced the entire community of this city. I have celebrated our diversity. I've stood up for the underdog. I come to work every single day trying to make this city just a little bit better. So come with me on that journey. Come with me and dream about big things. Come with me and work hard so we can improve the city that we live in. And help me deliver the best place to live for everybody. Thank you. So that's the message. Dream, work, deliver. We had big dreams. I have to pinch myself to think that I actually am the mayor of this amazing city. It is a dream come true. I'm grateful for it every single day. I dreamed about doing this a long time ago when a lot of people told me it wouldn't be possible. That a guy with a funny accent and a bad haircut can run for office in America. You wouldn't think that would be possible. I tell you, it would be a lot harder where I grew up. But people embraced our message. They encouraged me along the way. We took on a 4-term senator in a primary, and we won with a landslide victory because of you. We moved on to take on an incumbent mayor who had a lot more funding than we had and had a lot more experience in terms of being in office. We won that battle as well. And then I stepped into office and I didn't really know what the job entailed. I'd never been a politician, but I had ideas. I tried ideas. Some ideas worked, some ideas didn't, but you bared with me the whole time. This year, these 3 years, we have laid the groundwork for so many amazing things. It started a long time ago with a mural on tsunami. I got in a bit of trouble for that, as you might know. But I stuck with it because what I loved about the tsunami mural is even if you hated it, you still took a little bit of time to look up at it and decide whether you liked it or not. And that's what's great about public art. It is there for everybody. It does not discriminate. So that mural was a motivation for me to run, to do something different. We did that, and it worked out. And now, with West Street leading the way, with the Art Street District leading the way, this city and all the amazing, talented artists in Annapolis are getting recognition for what they do. If any of you are familiar with the Breonna Taylor mural we did on a city park in Parole, in Chambers Park, that mural that was contributed to by so many people in the community. It was amazing. If any of you haven't seen it, please look it up. The visuals of that mural, people rolling it on 2 basketball courts from up above is amazing, amazing graphic. And that got national attention on that. But that's just a little bit of part of what we are trying to do. We are trying to make this a cultural place, a place where art is important. This was that kind of place. This was the Athens of the New World when America was discovered. People came here for all those amazing things like galas and balls and horse racing and exciting things that made Annapolis the place to be. I want to try that again. I want to make this a cultural destination. I want people to come here for music and art and, of course, food. You know, Annapolis used to be the place where all the ferries came to drop off the beautiful produce from the Eastern Shore. Eastern Shore is the breadbasket of this area. We should be celebrating those ingredients. The melons, the corn, the chickens, whatever it is, we should celebrate that sort of stuff and celebrate it here in Annapolis and highlight it here in Annapolis. Of course, this town was a crabber's town, was an oysterman's town. We should be bringing those things to the forefront to highlight what a great city that we live in. We have great art, great food, great water accessibility. I came in here on a boat and I couldn't believe my luck when I got here. You could step off your boat and go to 50 different restaurants and bars. It was a great village feel. I know Harry and Kia were trying to say that to you before. What really attracted me to this place? It is the village that we live in, this beautiful city that I feel so lucky to be a part of and to have discovered. Not only because I found my beautiful wife here, but because this is a great place to live. We live in one of the best cities in America, and I want everybody else to know that. And we are on the way to making different things happen and making more exciting things happen. We have so much to work with. We have real historic fabric. We have scale. We are not some big metropolis. What makes this town so beautiful is that the streets are laid out the way they were laid out over 300 years ago. How many cities can say that, right? But at the same time, we have two amazing colleges here. We have the Naval Academy, the romance of all the young people that go to that college who walk our streets every single day in their beautiful white uniforms and really are a model of leadership. And then we have St. John's College. And I always love to speak to St. John's College because so many amazing alumni have gone to that college that even my two favorite ones, Ahmet Ertegun and Jack Holtzman, that started Elektra Records and Atlantic Records. Those guys signed the soundtrack of the last century. They signed Aretha Franklin, Stevie Wonder, Led Zeppelin, Rolling Stones, just to name a few, Otis Redding. All those bands were signed or were on the labels of two guys that went to school in the city. We need to sell those things. So I've been selling those for the last 3 years, making sure that people know what amazing things happened in this city. We have some of the coolest events in the country. We have the croquet, the only sport that St. John's can beat the Naval Academy at. We have the tug of war. We have chocolate festivals. We have music festivals. We have things that make this the best place to live. And Anne Arundel County is an amazing place. We have a great partner in Stuart Pittman, and we are going to do amazing things together. Now, I don't have a script tonight. I just wanted to talk to you a little bit about how I got here and what we've done this year. But I can tell you what's on the way. So we have laid the groundwork for City Dock. When I came into office, I wanted a park, not a parking lot on City Dock. City Dock should not belong to the automobile. But we knew if we were going to take parking spaces off of City Dock, we had to have another plan. And we do have that plan. That plan is going to happen, and it's going to happen without even going to the taxpayer in Annapolis. We're going to finance an amazing world-class historic park on City Dock that is not only going to be a public space, but is also going to be a protection for us against sea level rise. We're going to raise City Dock 6 feet and create a place that everybody will want to go to, that not only is a park, but is a place that filters stormwater. We're going to increase the size of our garage from 450 to 700 cars, add parking capacity. But we're going to build the parking garage of the future, the parking garage that has flat floor plates, so that when we're not driving our cars as much, when we're all being picked up in autonomous vehicles and we're looking at each other while we drive around, those cars, when we step out of them, can go to a garage that's designed for that sort of thing. We can take out a few layers of parking and we can make apartments or we can make offices. That is the garage of the future. We are building a new Newtown. And I swear to you, one of my highest priorities is not only to just rebuild Newtown, but Harbour House, Eastport Terrace, Robinwood. We can do amazing things with those properties. We can create the public housing model for this country and show people how it should be done, not doing what was done, which was putting people on the other side of the tracks. We are attracting young people here as well. We are making a dynamic city that young people want to come to and start businesses and improve our shopping, our food, all those other things. We have great things already, but it's always good to have young, fearless people here. And to do that, I need to create affordable housing. We will make sure that there is affordable housing in this city, because I want my kids to one day be lucky enough to have a place in Annapolis. We have to make that a priority like other cities in America. We are doing a new public works building on Hudson Street. We will have an amazing opportunity site on Spar Creek. So this is going to happen. We're going to have a network of bikes and trails that are micro-transit options. We shouldn't be getting around in our cars all the time. We should be thinking of other ways to get to work, whether it's an electric scooter, an electric bike, a bike, or just walking. You should be able to make that last piece of your journey on a protected trail. We are making sure that happens. You will be able to leave one side of the city at Quiet Waters Park and get all the way over to the B&A Trail on a protected pathway. You'll be able to leave the historic district and get out to the Westfield Mall, the Parole Town Centre, and our amazing Waterworks Park. If you haven't had a chance to go to Waterworks Park, please go to Waterworks Park. There are so many great things that are going to happen in the next 5 years. I want you to be there with me. I can't do it without you. I need you to come out and vote for me. I need you to bring people to the polls so that we can win this next election. Thank you for everybody who's done what they've done for us so far. You can send some money if you like to Gavin for Annapolis. Money always helps. We have not asked for money because it hasn't been the right thing to do during COVID. But think about that. Throughout this pandemic, this city has risen to the occasion. We were on the forefront of demanding testing, mass testing. We pushed our county and pushed our county. We got testing. We took testing into communities that we knew didn't have the resources, didn't have doctors themselves that they could actually go to, didn't have health insurance. We made sure that we took testing into communities who needed it the most. Because the one big thing about COVID, the one thing about the coronavirus is it is a big equalizer. If we don't fix coronavirus for everybody, we do not fix it. It brings people together because it has to be a global solution to get through it. So not only did we take testing into communities, we also took food drives to those communities that didn't need it. I have attended multiple food drives, and there are mile-long car lines. This has highlighted the need in our community. This has exposed what is happening truly in our city. We were there. The city has provided capacity for multiple food drives. We have created our own food pantry at Pip Moyer. And I'm proud of the work that we've done on the health crisis. On the economic crisis, I made sure that I was at the forefront of helping the small businesses in this city. As soon as the pandemic hit, we did curbside chats to the 5 different business precincts in the city. We listened, we heard them, we tried to translate their needs. From that, we moved forward to setting up a small business recovery task force headed by Dick Franyo, the much loved owner of the Boatyard. We had our streets ready to close when the governor said it was okay to partially reopen. We have kept our city operating outdoors. I'm actually outdoors today. It doesn't look like it, but we are outdoors in an atrium. We are socially distanced. We are doing the right thing. We have 6 feet distance between all of us. But that thing that we did for businesses has been a lifesaver. I've been to other cities this year, such as Boston, DC, Baltimore, and Annapolis has a different energy. We have done a great job to keep the economy rolling in this city. When Black Lives Matter happened, when that tragic moment that the whole world saw with George Floyd, I was at the front of the first march to make sure that people had a place to express themselves, to make sure that our police force gave them a respectable distance, but also guided the protests. They were there to support them, not oppose them. In history, anybody that has decided to bust heads in these situations has been on the wrong side of history. This city was on the right side of history. That is why we do not have boarded up shops. We do not have riots. We did not have broken windows. We had respectful protests, and we had many of them, and all of them were done correctly. We made sure that the city provided sound and stages and places to paint George Floyd murals, projection screens, projectors, seats for older people when they're at rallies. We were there every step of the way for George Floyd. We know this city has a long way to go. You know, my main goal is to make this city one Annapolis, because we have to stop blaming the poor. We have to start acknowledging that if we don't help people that are less fortunate than us, we all lose. That has been one of my highest priorities. I have employed people in this city that people can look up to and say, I look like that guy, or I look like that girl. I could have that job in the city. I could be that person. We have to inspire our young people. We have to create opportunity for them. We have to give them hope. So I want to thank you. I wouldn't be standing here today if it wasn't for everyone that is watching this. I'm so happy to have had a moment like this. As usual, it was something different. I told everybody when I ran for office that it wasn't going to be what you expected. I said, if you think everything's perfect, I'm probably not your guy. I'm going to continue to try new things. I'm going to continue to listen to you. I'm going to continue to build this city from the ground up. An election has just happened, but really the work starts locally. You have to make change on a local level. And that's why I love being a mayor, because you truly can see the difference that you make in this city. I've been able to make a lot of difference so far. I want to be here for another 4 years so I can see it all come to fruition, so I can spend some time and throw a frisbee on City Dock on a piece of grass, a blade of grass on City Dock. Wouldn't that be interesting? So that will happen because of you. That will happen because everybody here has supported me along the way. It will happen because I have an amazing family, and I want to make this city the best I can for my family and your family. And so thank you all for tuning in. Thank you for listening. I'm not sure what the next step is, or if I'm wrapping up, but we are making it up as we go along. I hope you all got a good buzz on now, because you all had you all had 3 drinks. I want to thank Kia and Harry and Summer upstairs, who's DJ'd through all the floors. Shannon for her amazing bartending tonight. And if you, there's 6 people around me, 5 people around me who've been doing all the back office stuff and making this kind of fun event happen tonight. They've been working so hard. I might not be able to name them all, but I'll send a list to you if I'm allowed to of who they are. They are so talented. We have so much talent in this city. I have a great campaign manager in Genevieve. Thank you, Genevieve. You are a rock star. But the true stars are you guys. Thank you for supporting with me. I love you.
we're giving